Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me here at the First Alert Desk. My name's Karli Barnett. We want to give you a look at some of the stories that we are following for your Saturday. If you live here in North Georgia, if you live in Metro Atlanta, we know that it has been a long couple of days, needless to say. Now, in just a few minutes, we're going to have First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin here. He is going to be giving you a look at your forecast for the rest of the weekend. Obviously, we know a lot of places are in the cleanup process, in having to get their homes back together, get everything back together. But certainly a different picture of what we are dealing with now than what we saw the other day. We do have a couple of news headlines to get to in the meantime. I do see some of you all are watching already. Hey, Alex, saying good evening. He is watching from East Point. We appreciate it. And we will go ahead and jump right into it. For those of you who maybe haven't joined us on one of these live streams before, this is an opportunity where we give you a look at some of the stories that we've been working on, just a little bit of a preview, so to speak, of what you can expect tonight. And it's also a really great opportunity for you to ask First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin your weather questions and have some more specific questions to the weather in your area, more so than he can get to in a typical newscast. Quick programming note, you can join us tonight at 10 on Peachtree TV and 11 on WANF. We hope to see you there. All right, the first story that we want to get to, two Smyrna officers were shot and wounded on duty. This is according to officials. They were responding to a reported burglary overnight. The suspect, who at this point still has not been identified, was killed in that shootout with police. Our reporter, Asia Wilson, has more on this.
Recently, it's been happening all too often.
For hours, Adventure Outdoors on South Cobb Drive in Smyrna was surrounded by crime scene tape and many evidence markers after officials with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation say two Smyrna officers were hit by gunfire, both shot in the leg. Alan Parham lives close to the store.
We don't need any more violence as far as more guns out here on the street. You would think that, people would be mindful to that extent, due to the massive school shooting we just had right there in Winder. It's sad that, people are still trying to get guns illegally and stuff like that. And the community is tired of that.
Officials say as officers tried to place the suspect into custody, the man got away and started shooting a rifle, which was slung around his neck. The two officers were then hit.
I can tell you my feeling. I'll just be honest with you. I'm angry. It angers me that we have people that want to do this, that want to take shots at police officers, that want to do us harm.
The Cobb County Police Department also responded to the scene just before the shooting.
They're in a gun store with lots of weapons, lots of long weapons, lots of pistols, lots of ammo. And so, yes, sir, we had a lot of officers come, and that's the reason that they came.
According to the GBI, Cobb County officers shot and killed the suspect.
Obviously, we're keeping the Smyrna police family and our own police family in our thoughts and prayers for sure.
In Smyrna, Asia Wilson, Atlanta News First.
And again, that was Asia Wilson reporting. Of course, we're moving now to the top story that has affected us here in Metro Atlanta. It has affected North Georgia. It's affected our surrounding states as well. And that, of course, the impacts from Helene still being felt today. I have some video. This is from reporter Sarah Hammond. You can see just how high the water still is in so many areas coming across the street there. These are flooded roads, still a problem for some of our local communities. This is 24 hours after Helene hit us here in Georgia. So what we're looking at now is near Mount Vernon Road in Douglas County by the Sweetwater Creek. Of course, the water rising, causing that to spill over. But essentially, still many people are walking out of their doors to see a river, basically. Many people have been talking about 2009. Several people we spoke with, that was the last time, about 15 years ago, that the Metro Atlanta area saw flooding even equivalent to this. But I heard from so many people that this is worse than that, but it's the closest thing that it can be compared to. Now, unfortunately, across our state, we have learned that 17 lives were lost as a result of this. Governor Brian Kemp gave an update on that today. Let's go ahead and listen in.
We've had 17 fatalities just in the state of Georgia alone. And as Tim Golden, DOT commissioner, said to me yesterday, these storms are taking the soul out of me. And I know that's how people are feeling down here.
So this is just never what we want to have to report on, never what we want to have to experience in our area. Here in Metro Atlanta, 25 people did have to be rescued who were stranded in their homes. Helene really packing a punch for us here locally. I have some more video now. This is out of Sandy Springs. This is the Morgan Dam out there. Sandy Springs police still saying to just go ahead and try to avoid this area. We see how high that water is, just gushing. And so obviously we have a lot of high water, a lot of standing water still in places. Thankfully, much of that water has receded, but of course, like we said, there are several communities that are dealing with this. So it has been a long couple of days. And in just a minute, First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin, when he joins us, he's going to tell you a little bit about how he was actually in the eye of the storm. He was in Taylor County, Florida, bringing us the latest. Of course, we do see some people out here fishing. That is certainly not recommended by officials. And going to end it on a little bit of a different note here, and that is because Children's Healthcare of Atlanta is opening a brand new state-of-the-art hospital, and right now everybody is coming together in order to prepare for that move to the Arthur M. Blank Hospital tomorrow morning. There are dozens of ambulances at the ready at a nearby Target, and they are going to be making the shift over to this brand new facility. Atlanta News First actually covered several weeks ago when they first had the ribbon cutting for this ceremony. Our reporter Bridget Spencer is going to have more on this tonight, but we'd gone out there to discuss this $1.5 billion facility. It's now just about to be ready. The hospital was designed with everyone's inputs, making those rooms comfortable for parents, for families, also having a dog park for service and therapy animals, and really adding some special touches like different fish photos on the ceiling of CT scan rooms, just trying to make it a little bit better for those kiddos and their families that have to spend any time in the hospital. But they are getting everything ready to go, and this is quite the undertaking, as you can imagine. So again, reporter Bridget Spencer is going to have more on this, but some of the images you're seeing now are when a couple weeks ago we got a first look at the facility and when they will eventually be opening their doors to the Arthur M. Blank Hospital at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. All right, let's go ahead and give you a live look outside here. And we have First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin joining us. Let's see, I do see James here. He says, I live in Tifton, and God had his hand on us, but southeast of Tifton, it was blasted bad. We have light damage from what I've seen, and some trees are down, but we have power. James, thank goodness you all are okay, and certainly we know that our southern Georgia counties got hit even harder. One of my good friends, her family's from Vidalia, and her grandma's house was pretty much just destroyed. It's unlivable at this point, and we know that is sadly the case for so many families. And, you know, Cutter, you were out there. You were in Florida. You were there as it made landfall.
Yeah, and I would say the drive back, getting to 75 was a little tougher than even once on I-75. That extensive damage, especially tree damage, sign damage, and there was some structural damage all the way into South Georgia. In fact, speaking of Tifton, south of Tifton, when we were crossing the state line there on 75, getting into southern Lowndes County, really just south of Vidalia, and then getting into town, damage was extensive. In fact, more inland wind damage than even I was expecting. We were in Perry, Florida. That's Taylor County, right on the beach there. Coastal County was under a mandatory evacuation, and a lot of folks got out, thankfully, but the folks that did stay had quite a wild ride along with us yesterday. More so early yesterday morning, and then late Thursday evening was kind of like the prime time of the nastier condition. And unfortunately, we do still have the tropics to watch. We're going to be watching the Gulf of Mexico this week, the Western Caribbean this week. Certainly can't turn our eyes away from the tropics just yet. Of course, the end of hurricane season, not too far away, but not here just yet. So we will talk more about the tropics here in just a moment. First, want to bring you, though, radar. We have a little bit of drizzle out there this evening. I just want to give you that heads up. There could be just a little bit of rain for those evening plans, starting with the big picture here, and then we're going to zoom in. The remnants of Helene technically still there, soaking portions of the Ohio River Valley, Kentucky, on down into Tennessee. Rain is much lighter than it was 24 hours ago in some of these same areas. Nonetheless, it is not completely dry. We are still tracking some moisture out there this evening. Drizzle, very light rain is in the forecast for the rest of the evening. And some of this could linger into our Sunday morning, so just keep that in mind. Notice a few sprinkles coming back in for running a quick run to dinner here into the studio, West Midtown area. Not much inside the perimeter, though. You get up to Marietta, Cobb County, especially West Cobb, a little bit of light rain down into Douglasville. Just a little bit of light rain back into Carroll County as well. The Bremen community area, I should say, Haralson County, Cleburne, Randolph counties, not too much going on, but some sprinkles. Roanoke, Wedowee, a little bit of light rain out there. Same for Heard County, Troup County. Getting up into the mountains in extreme northwest Georgia, some of the areas that were most soaked by Helene, and Clay County, North Carolina, dealing with flooding. Rabun County dealing with flooding as well. Rain mainly to your west. Gilmer County, Fannin County on into Whitfield County and the Dalton area, Calhoun, Georgia, and it's very light, so not much of a contributing factor to any sort of additional flooding or anything like that. Just wanted to let you know that there's a little bit of moisture out there, sprinkles and drizzle this evening. Alex, hello to you, and hello to everyone else that is watching. And James saying, I have family members down in Florida and haven't heard from them yet. James, where are they in Florida? And I can kind of give you an idea as to if they were more heavily impacted. Again, I was in Taylor County and Perry. I know Steinhatchee, just to my south, was pretty heavily impacted. In fact, record storm surge causing quite a bit of destruction down there. But James, if you're still on the stream, let me know in general where they were, and I might be able to give you a decent idea as to what they received, what they got. And again, back to our local forecast, conditions continue to gradually improve. This weekend, maybe not picture perfect. It's a battle of the sun and the clouds. Certainly have a lot of clouds out there today, and I think that we will be dealing with some clouds again tomorrow. Again, starting our hour-by-hour forecast, 10 o'clock this evening. Over the next hour and a half, temperature is gradually cool. I'm going to keep that 20 to 30% chance for some additional light rain in the forecast on through early morning. I think that overall it's going to be very light. Nonetheless, a little bit of rain out there, sprinkles and showers there in the first alert forecast. Not much to, ruin any evening plans or anything like that. Nonetheless, not completely dry across North Georgia and in metro Atlanta. So drizzle, a few rain showers overnight. If you do have the outdoor plans, don't cancel. Just be aware there will be a little bit of moisture out there even into the early Sunday morning hours. Now by sunrise Sunday, getting to the brunch time frame, going to church, trying to get that Sunday morning run in, I think we will see improving weather. In fact, hour by hour forecast, we'll pull up our forecast model here. And this is what radar may look like. This is, the whites, the grays, clouds, the different shades of green, yellow, orange, and such. Those are, projected rain showers or rain. And overnight tonight, notice how it kind of fizzles a little bit, but maybe some redevelopment as we get into early tomorrow morning and closer into the city of Atlanta inside I-285. That's why I'm going to bump up that rain chance back to 30% early tomorrow morning. Bit of a lull during the, the get out the door sort of morning hours on our Sunday, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. As we get into the afternoon, clouds try to wrap back in, maybe a couple more showers, but in general, it's a mix of sun and clouds tomorrow, and we are tracking a decent Sunday. Again, hopefully you can hear me out there. I just noticed audio levels were a little low. Let me know if you can hear me just fine there on YouTube if you want to leave a comment, or you can leave a comment on, you can text us, 470-777-WANF. Again, that's 470-777-9263. Noticed audio was just a little low, but should be good again now. So give me a thumbs up on the chat if you can hear just fine. So Sunday evening, still a few showers around. By this time tomorrow evening, we're going to drop your rain chance nearly completely. Monday, we're going to bring it back, just 20% though. Again, we're just not back into a completely sunny pattern yet. The remnants of Helene well to our north and west, and certainly nothing like Helene was just 24, 36, 48 hours ago. but light rain is widespread to our north, and for us, it's just patchy drizzle, a couple of light rain showers, a few showers Sunday, a few showers Monday, mainly during the mid-morning to mid-afternoon hours, very hit or miss and spotty, and certainly it's a battle between the sun and the clouds tomorrow. Not a completely sunny Sunday, nor will it be a completely sunny Monday, but I think as we head into the middle of the work week, we're going to increase the amount of sunshine in the first alert forecast, with Wednesday, Thursday featuring a mostly sunny sky. High temperatures back in the low to mid-80s, so we're warming back up, maybe back just a touch above average by a couple of degrees, few degrees. Morning still fairly comfortable, right around average, maybe just a touch warmer than it should be, with low temperatures back in the low to mid-60s. For the city of Atlanta, keep in mind for their outlying, upper 50s, lower 60s in the first alert forecast. It will be a pretty nice stretch of weather out there across North Georgia and Metro Atlanta. Mom Nature kind of paying us back for the nasty stuff that we just had to deal with. Now I want to talk about the tropics. Again, no urgent concern. There's a lot going on. We'll take you out to the eastern Atlantic first. We have Hurricane Isaac. They're in the far northern Atlantic, northeast Atlantic, heading out to sea and eventually losing those tropical characteristics. We have Tropical Storm Joy to the south, kind of on the northern edge of that red blob. And then that red blob indicating another area of storminess, low pressure, that has a 70% chance of development. Not worried about those, but what I do want to draw your attention to is the Western Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico. Somewhere in this area, beginning down in the far southern and southwestern Caribbean, an area of storminess kind of forecast to percolate there and then be pulled northward. It will be pulled northward into the Western Caribbean and the southern Gulf of Mexico, and there's a 50% chance of tropical development with this system. You know, again, not a tropical system yet, but could become a tropical system, whether it be depression, storm, or hurricane. A 50% chance of that occurring within the next 7 days. We'll start really watching this closely middle of the week. I think those chances will start to increase heading into the middle of the week. And a late week into the weekend, we're going to need to keep an eye on this across the Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf Coast, and of course to the inland south and southeast, Florida in particular, keeping an eye on this system. Some of the scenario similar to the scenario that produced Helene, track and strength-wise. Other things are different. So not saying it's going to be the exact same thing at all. Not saying we're going to have anything similar to that even, but something to watch. Lots of possibilities still on the table, and until we can rule out, impacts for North Georgia and Metro Atlanta, the state of Georgia, still worthy of your attention, a little closer attention, a little bit more vigilance on the first alert forecast in regards to this particular system. Not fake, username _deleted. Really something to watch. Wish we didn't have to talk about it, but it is what it is. Better to talk about it now than wait till the last minute and then throw a bunch of information your way. Just know that this is not anything to worry about, but it is something to keep an eye on as we get into the work week, in particular, late week and weekend. But you know how the tropics go. Many scenarios, many possibilities on the table. This is certainly not something worth worrying over, but it is something to keep an eye on. It's just so early in the game. We don't know exactly what it's going to become, where it's going to go, but we have an idea. A tropical system likely to form Western Caribbean, Gulf of Mexico as we get into the latter portion of the work week and head into the weekend. If there were to be any impact to North Georgia or Metro Atlanta, it would likely be later weekend, maybe early the following week, but even that timing, still a little bit of a question. So I want to remind you in the meantime, get outside, enjoy the nice weather. If you're on the go this week, super busy, you don't have time to watch us on the news, of course, you can always watch us. It's just a quick flip over to the channel, but you can also stream the newscast, even if you're on the go in the First Alert Weather app. Just scroll down and click on Watch Live. You also will get updated videos, recorded videos about the forecast, any updates that we may have that we send to the First Alert Weather app, and we'll be keeping you updated through the work week. Again, thank you for tuning in and for watching. Reminder, full forecast is coming your way at 10 p.m. on Peachtree TV, Atlanta CW affiliate. I'll be joined by Karli, Barnett, and then we will have another check of the forecast, 11 p.m. Updated outlook, some new data coming in by that point as well. Not thinking too many changes are in the cards for tonight and tomorrow's forecast, but we'll keep you updated. Nonetheless, Atlanta News First, WANF at 11 p.m. And right after this, I'm going to be recording a new forecast update and putting that in the First Alert Weather app. Get outside, enjoy your evening, breathe the umbrella just in case. Drizzle, few rain showers, a possibility through those late evening fun plans. You can also keep those rain alerts turned on in the First Alert Weather app just in case some of that moisture impacts your plans. Have a great evening.